Now I'm live on the channel CS Ninja Coding Made Simple. I'm going to solve these coding questions, generate power set or the question subset on LeetCode. This is a backtracking algorithms. This question is a little bit difficult to understand. Don't worry, we're going to explain everything in this video. We're solving these problems live on the channel. Let's get started. And I already solved this problem here on this whiteboard. Now I'm going to walk through from the beginning. Okay, so let me clear the board. Alright, so this question is called subsets. So this subset questions we're going to be solving in this video. Let's assume we're given an array 1, 2, 3, 4, and we saw that in this array we have total 4 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know that the number of subset we have to generate for power set is 2 to the power n. Here n equals to 4, so 2 to the power 4 equals to 16. So we'll have total 16 subsets. Okay, so how do I solve this question? Before that, let's take a simple example. Here I'm going to take a simple example with these 2 elements 1, 2. Okay, so for this given array, the number of set will have 2 to the power n. That is the power set. So the length is 2. So 2 to the power 2 equals to 4. So from this array, we'll have total 4 subsets. Now first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose an empty, first I'm going to choose an empty subset. So let's choose here empty subset. First, I'm going to walk through the intuition, then we'll see the algorithm. First, we're going to choose here an element. So which element we can choose? We'll scan this array from left to right. First, we have 1. So in this empty subset, we can choose the element 1. Before that, we have to understand. We will iterate this array from 0 to n. Okay, so for this array we'll generate the subset first for length 0, for length 1, then for length 2. First for length 0. So first we'll take empty subset. This is an empty subset. So we see the length is 0. So for 0 length we have this empty subset. So we'll add this empty subset to a list. Okay, now we're done for the length 0. Now let's find out the subset of length 1. So let's assume we have this empty set. So for in order to generate the subset of length 1, what do we have to do? We have to choose an element to this subset. So we can choose 1 or 2. So first let's choose 1. If we choose 1, we see the length of this subset is 1. So let's add it to our answer list. Okay, so we see that the length is 1. We cannot add any more element to this subset. So let's remove 1. Let's go back. And here we can choose the next element, that is 2. So let's add here 2. Now we see the length of this subset is 1. So let's add here 2. Alright, so this is the subset 1 and 2, these 2 subset of length 1. Now let's find out the subset of length 2. First, let's choose this empty subset. This is your empty subset. Here first we can choose 1. So let's choose here 1. Now for 1, here we can choose another element, that is 2. So let's choose here 2. 1 and 2. Okay, we see the length of this subset is 2, and that's what I'm trying to find out. So let's add this subset to this list. 1, 2. Now we see we have no more elements. So let's remove 2, we get 1. and we see there is no more choice except 2. You already choose 2, so let's backtrack. We have empty. Here we can choose 2. If we choose here 2, then we see there is no more choice. We have no more element on the right. So we're done. We find out this subset or this power set, okay? And we see we have total 4 subset, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we find out the subset, or we can say this is the power set for this given array. Now let's take a bigger example. Let's erase. Okay, now I'm going to walk through for this array. First, let's choose an empty subset. Now we're going to find out the subset of length is 0. Okay, this is a backtracking algorithm. This is a kind of intimidating algorithm. Don't worry, if you watch the video till the end, you will see every single information for this backtracking algorithm. So here we have 0. Okay, for length 0 we have empty. So let's create a list here. In this list we'll store the subset. So let's add here empty. Now let's find out the subset of length 1. So now what I can do here, we can place 4 different elements. We can place 1, 2, 3 or 4. First let's choose 1. So we choose here 1. Okay, here we need a little more space. Okay, so we choose here 1. Now we saw that we choose 1 and the length of this subset is 1. So let's add here. Now let's remove it. Since we placed now element 1 here, let's remove it. We remove, we have empty. Let's choose here the next. So we have here 2. The length is 1. Let's add here this subset. Let's remove it. We'll have here this 3. Okay, length is 1. Let's add here this subset. Now we have 4. Let's choose here 4. Okay, so here I'm going to print it. All right, so we find out the subset of length 1. Okay, now let's find out the subset of length 2. For length 2, let's see how we can find out the subset of length 2. First, let's place here the element 1. If we place the element 1, we see the length of this subset is 1. So we can choose here 2, 3 or 4. Let's choose here 2. We need a little more space. Okay, so first we inserted 1. Now let's choose it 2. If we choose here 2, then we will have here 1, 2. The length is 2. So let's add here 1, 2. Let's remove here the last element 2. We have 1. Let's choose 3. So we have 1, 3. The length here we see is 2. So let's add here 1, 3. Let's remove the last 3. So we can choose 4. Here let's add 4. So 1, 4. Let's add here 1, 4. The length of this subset is 4. Okay, so we're done. Now we choose 1 here at the first position. Now we're going to choose a 2 instead. Okay, so first we'll remove 4, then we'll remove 1, then we'll have here empty, and let's place here 2. If we place here 2, the length is 1. So we can place here 3. We can place here 2 elements. First 3. So 2, 3. Then here we have a 2. So let's add here 2, 3 to our answer list. Now let's place here 4. The length of the subset is 2, so let's add here 2, 4. Okay, we're done. Now let's place here 3. Let's remove 4. We have 2. Let's remove 2. We have empty. Now let's place here 3. If we place here 3, we have length 1. Here we can place only 4. So let's place here 4. We have 3, 4. Length is 2. So let's add here 3, 4. Okay, now let's remove 4. There is no more choice, so we'll remove 4. We have 3. Let's remove 3. We have empty. And here we can place 4. Let's place here 4. If we place here 4, we see there is no choice, so we're done. We find out the subset of length 2. Now let's find out the subset of length 3. For length 3, I'm not going to go through the each steps again and again. So here we choose 1, then 1, 2. Here we can choose 3, something like this, 1, 2, 3. So is it okay? Just for a second, wait for a second. Test it on your phone. Test it on your phone. Okay, so I guess it's okay. We can go forward. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. And we see the length is 3. So let's add here. 1, 2, 3. We need a little more space, so I'm going to put the closing bracket right there. So 1, 2, 3. Now here we can place 4 as well. Let's place here 1, 2, 4. So let's add here to this list. 1, 2, 4. There is no more choice, okay? Let's backtrack. Remove 4, we have 2. Here we can choose for 2, we have 3, and we choose 3 and 4. No way to go. So let's remove 2, we have 1. We have here 1, 3. Here we can place only 4. So 1, 3, and 4. Length is 3. Let's add here 1, 3, 4. Okay, let's remove 4. There is no choice. 1, 3. Let's remove 3. We have 1. Here we can place only 4. There is nowhere to go. Okay, so we're done here. Let's remove 1. Empty. Here we can place 2. If we place here 2, we have 2, 3. And here we can place 4. 2, 3, 4. So length 3. Let's add here this subset. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we see that there is nowhere to go. There is no way to choose or place any element here because we're at the end. Let's remove 4. We have 2, 3. Let's remove 3. We have 2. Here we can place 4. The length is 2. So we have nowhere to go. Let's remove 4. We have 2. Let's remove 2. We have empty. All right. So here let's place now 3. If we place 3, we can only choose here 4. So 3, 4. No, the length is not equal to 3. So let's remove 4, 3. Let's remove 3. Empty 4, and we're done. We find out the subset of length 3. Okay, now the final step. Now we're going to find out the subset of length 4. All right, so of length 4. How we can find out the subset of length 4? So we're not going to go through the each step again and again. We will regenerate the tree again. Okay, so here we see we choose 1, 2, 3. Here we can place an element. We have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here we see the length is 4. So let's add here 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's count the number of set we have here, the subset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have here 2 to the power 4 equals to 16 subset. So this is the power set for this given array of integers. This is how we can solve this question. Now let's see the intermediating algorithm for this solution. This is my first whiteboarding on YouTube where I'm solving in live video. Okay, if you're new to the channel, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned with the channel. We'll go live frequently. Now let's talk about the algorithm. Okay, now we're going to be talking about the algorithm for this solution. Okay, so first let's create a function. Here I'm going to create a function subset. This function takes an array as inputs. So let's use your S. So it takes nums array as input. Okay, now here first what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the length. So length equals to nums dot gth length. Okay, now we're going to check if first thing what I have to do, we have to create a list of array result. Okay, so result equals to array list. Okay, let's consider this is our array list. We'll have some list inside this list. Okay, now here we're going to find out the length. Length equals to nums dot length. Now we're going to check if the length equals to 0. If length equals to 0, we'll just return the empty list or list of list. So return the empty list, that is res. All right, now we're going to run a loop. So for I from 0 to the given the length of the given array. Let's assume we're given 1, 2, 3, 4 this array. Now the length is here 4, right? So length here we have length len, so len. We're running this loop for from 0 to length because we want to find out the subset for 0, 1, 2 up to the length. Okay. Now here we have this loop. Inside we're gonna create, or we're gonna call, a backtrack function. This is our interesting backtracking function. So first here we're going to send the index of first element, all ages, then the result array here. Okay, and we'll set a subset as well inside this function, and here we're just creating this subset right here, or we can create here the reference, and we can push, or we can send the variable to the function. Okay, so for sake of understanding, just we're saying subset. Okay, this is a list. Now here we're going to send the length as well, the length and the nums array. And also we want to send the length. We will run this loop from 0 to length, and in each call of this function by this loop, we'll find out first for length 0, then for length 1, and so on. So we're going to find out here I is the length. Okay, at the end we'll return the result array here. Okay, so return result. All right, now let's create here backtrack function. The backtrack function, I will attach the code to the description of this video. Check the description for the code. Now here we have a total 5 parameter. This is for start equals to 0 initially here. Okay, and start is always 0 here. We'll call this function recursively, and it's important. It's really interesting problem. And if you're new to this backtracking algorithm, this is going to be a little bit critical to understand, but don't worry, sticks to this video. Then we have this result, then subset. Oh, is this video live on YouTube? Please check it on your phone. Okay, so here we have subset. Here we have len, and we just name it as we want, and here we just name it here, something like this. Then nums, and here I. Okay, let's put here I. Now first, what I'd like to do here, we're going to check if the length of subset, if the length of our current subset equals to length equals to I, then what I'd like to do here, if the length of this nums array is, this subset, current subset is I, then what I will do, we'll add that to our result array and we'll return, and we'll exit from that function. Something like this, result dot add the subset. We'll convert the subset to array list or array whatever I will see in the pseudocode. Okay, in the attached code. This is just a pseudocode, just for sake of understanding. And here we'll return. And by this return statement, we'll just exit. Otherwise, we'll run a loop here for start. For let's call here I from. We already sent here I, so let's rename it to different name. Let's call it J. J from start to the length, okay? The length of the array -1, because we will access the elements from our array. So we have to subtract 1 here because this is the index number. So here inside we'll check. We'll just add our current element to our subset. How? So here we'll say subset, we'll add this line subset dot add the current element nums j. Okay, so this is our current element. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check, first I will call the backtrack function here, backtrack. and using this line, we'll add our current element to our subset. Okay, this is a list. Now here we'll call this backtrack function. We'll just change the first parameter and the rest will be as it is. So start equals to here j plus 1. So j plus 1, and we will have here the next is res, then subset. Sorry for the noise. And here subset len nums, and here we have the given this is for the length. Okay, and we'll add that. We'll call something like this. Okay, we'll just move to the next element, something like this. We'll move to the next element and we'll call this function n times, where n is the length of the given. Actually we'll call for n plus 1 times the backtrack functions, and these backtrack functions and sorry for that, and the backtrack functions will construct the subset or the power set for the given length. Okay, and here at the end, if we saw nowhere to go, we'll just remove the last element, something like this. We can use here size, or here for sake of understanding, we're just applying this formula: subset dot remove last. Okay, and this method, let's add in this method, will remove the last element from our subset. All right, so this is the intermediating algorithms. You might be wondering, or you might be thinking, oh, this is a pretty hard question. Yes, backtracking algorithm always is difficult to understand for all the software engineer, no matter what. But you have to practice. If you understand the intuition, then you can implement this algorithm pretty easily. Now let's talk about the time and space complexity. All right, so the time complexity for this problem, TC for time complexity is O of n times 2 to the power n. Why is that? We're going to generate the subset for 0, 1 to up to the length. If the length is n, then here we'll generate subset for each step. We'll take 2 to the power n. If we generate n times, so it will take n times 2 to the power n time complexity. And the space complexity, when not regarding the output list to the complexity, to the space complexity analysis, so it will take big of here the length. Okay, length is n. So it will take big of n space complexity, because we're using a stack. In the stack, we will manipulate the element. All right, so we'll not have in the stack 2 to the power n function call, and so it will not take that much time complexity. We do not include the time complexity, do not include the output list to the complexity analysis. So it will take of n space complexity. All right, so this is my solution to this problem. Hope you've understood this video explanations. This is my first live video on YouTube, and I'll try to go live on YouTube, and I will solve problem on the whiteboard, the critical problems. If you wanna see any video or any specific problems on the channel, comment in this video, and I'll try to record that. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I will see you very soon. Ta-da.
এখনো লাইভ আছে
Oof.